Hi everybody, Julia Stock, Business Revolutionary with Be Astute. And this week is week 5 in our A to Z of training providing vocabulary. And we're covering E for employer engagement. This is something that a lot of providers really struggle with. And there's different areas to employer engagement. First of all, you've got the sales and marketing side of things. So actually finding employers with potential learners, or finding employers that are happy to work with you to give opportunities to unemployed learners. You have both sides of that equation. In apprenticeships, of course, we need that employment in order to be able to have learners within AEB. Actually, where you've got an employer engaged and working with you, it really helps drive opportunities for learners, but also drive positive outcomes, particularly around jobs. So that's the starting point. Without employers, it's quite a struggle to have a good business. Secondly, in terms of engagement, it's how you can work with those employers to have them support you in driving learners through the training. So one, it's about how you can persuade them to provide you with great on-the-job training, how you can be pushing and guiding them and directing them as to what opportunities they need to be giving the learners, so that you then have the assessment and evidence gathering opportunities that you need. But also when learners aren't completely engaged, when they are struggling, when there's things going on, then we need the employer to step up, step in, and take the lead in terms of supporting delivery. So there's those 3 different areas to employer engagement, and it's important when we're talking with our staff, when we're looking at it from a strategic direction. Actually, when we're talking about employer engagement, what do we mean this week? Which aspect of employer engagement are we talking about? Because with 3 distinct areas, it's really easy for people to go, oh yeah, they're not talking about my problem. From a sales and marketing perspective, lots of training providers are quite passive. They're not necessarily as proactive as they could be. And there's often a confusion in a lot of the marketing materials as to who the target market is, who's the audience. Are we talking to learners here? In which case, we need to be putting together materials that are learner focused, that are talking in the learner's language, that are appealing to the learner. Or are we putting together materials for the employer, in which case they need to be talking to the employer's needs, their pain points? Why should they engage? Why are you better than the competition? Because why you're better than the competition is different when you're talking to a learner as to when you're talking to an employer. And that messaging needs to be different. And often you find in a lot of the sales and marketing activities and strategies that we have, that that's not necessarily that clear. We talked a couple of weeks ago in curriculum design around how this could make or break your life as the boss of a training provider. Employer engagement links into curriculum design. If you've got a great curriculum, you're thinking about how you're guiding that employer to put on particular activities for you. It's not about you sitting back and seeing what the employer is doing. It's about you guiding the employer as to what you need them to be doing in order to create that evidence that you need for the qualifications, or to prepare for endpoint assessment. So we have to be brave, we have to be assertive in our needs. It's not about saying there's only one way to do it, absolutely not. But we want that linked back into the curriculum. So when we are teaching a particular topic, that's coming through in terms of the instructions for the employer as to, we're going to be doing this in a couple of months' time, and you provide those opportunities and prep this learner, which links through into the conversations we're having within progress reviews to link it all together. How are we communicating? How does the employer know what's going on? How much are we relying on individual staff to do that? How much have we been able to systematize and automate that so that there is nowhere for anyone to hide? It's all joined up, everybody knows what's going on. So that's the kind of stuff that we talk about in employer engagement. If any of those things that I've just rambled on about are things that resonated with you, please do get in touch. More than happy to have a chat and see how we can help. Thank you very much. That was E for employer engagement.